Hello and welcome back to Wireman's Whimsy. Today we are going to do, I think it's a gull wing card. I received this most amazing card from one of my subscribers, Kathy Klein. Thank you so much for sending this really beautiful card, and it totally inspired me to make something similar. This week we're working with the Storybook Friends bundle, so this is the card that I made from the inspiration from Kathy. And Kathy had used 2 layers of designer series paper in her card. And I've got the dimensions here, layer 1 and layer 2. And then this is the card base. And we're going to step through this. So if you want to get a cup of tea or something, this video is going to be just a little bit longer. But this is the card base layout and directions, and then the centerpiece directions. And again, we're using the Storybook Friends along with the Storybook Moments specialty designer series paper. And the specialty designer series paper has got these amazing die cuts with it. So we're going to be using some of those today. And the stamps are fabulous. And I really do like the set. So this one is some of that Storybook Moments designer series paper on a basic white background. And when I started doing this, I realized I loved this paper so much I didn't want to cover it up and I didn't want to make it smaller. So I've only done layer 1 with the designer series paper on this one. And I've used the die from the bundle to cut out the middle. And we are going to do each step along the way together. So you'll have lots and lots of time to see how the card goes together. It looks beautiful. It looks complicated. It's super simple. The first thing we need to do is we need to cut a piece of our card base 5.5 by 8. So what we need to do is the paper's 8.5 wide. So we need to cut a 1/2 inch off. And at this point, I can't remember if I did that or not. I think I wanted to do the whole thing on the video. So I'm just going to run this down here, and it is already trimmed to 8. So this is 5.5 by 8. Now I need to bring it in 2 inches and score this side at 2 inches. So I'm going to move my cutting blade up, and I'm going to score at 2 inches on this side, and then 2 inches on the other side. And this kind of makes our almost like a gatefold. So, and we're not going to fold any of these right now. So what I need to do now is I need to cut at 1 inch down between the score lines. So I'm going to use the 1 inch on this side. This is our cutting line or scoring line here, and then there's measurements on each side. So I'm just going to slide this into the 1 inch line. And I'm going to bring my cutting tool down, and there's a little line on the side, so you can line it up. I'm going to just bring it down to that score line, and I'm going to drag it down to the other score line. So there we go. And I'm just a little bit, oh no, I'm perfect there. Okay, so I'm going to do the same thing again. I need to come in 1 inch from the bottom. So line that up on the 1 inch. Take my cutting blade, line that line up with the score mark, and then bring it down to the other score mark, just like that. Okay, and I'm a little bit far on that one, but it's all okay. So what I need to do now is I need to score the top pieces at 2 inches from here. So this is 8, so I need to score at 4 inches. So again, I'm going to move my cutting blade out of the way. I'm going to put this at 4. And I'm going to score the bottom section, and then I'm going to score the top section. Okay, so I've got my score line there and there, and I need to come in 1 inch from here, 1 inch from the 2 inch score line, and I need to score from the cut line to the cut line. So I feel like I'm not explaining this very well, but the diagram kind of points it out. It's Once you've done it, it's not complicated at all. So I'm just going to pull this out of the way. Make sure that's still in frame. So what I've got is I've got my score lines at 2 inches. And then I've got a cut line, 1 inch from the top and 1 inch from the bottom, with a score line on each of those pieces halfway. So at 2 inches from the score or 4 inches from each side. And then in the center piece, I've got a score line at 1 inch here and 1 inch here. And the reason I'm not doing any of the folds right now is it's way easier to put the designer series paper on if you haven't already folded it. So these are all the pieces for the center. So I'm just going to take them and put them off to the side right now. So I've got 2 pieces of the designer series paper that are 5 1/4 by 1 3/4. So I'm just going to add adhesive to these and put them on each of the sides. So this is going to sit here like that. And then this one will go down. And we're going to do the same thing here. Pop that down. Now we have 2 smaller pieces, and these are 3/4 by 3 1/4, and they're going to sit right in here like this. And you can decide when you're putting your paper down which side is up and which side is down. This paper isn't really all that directional, but sometimes when you've got a small section of it, it looks a little bit directional. Like some pieces might look the right way up or wrong side up. So we're just going to add this in here like this. Okay. And then we have 4 of these little pieces, and they are 3/4 by 1 3/4. And they go in each of these sections like that. And it starts now to become easier to see what the pattern is on this card, like where the folds and where the cuts are. So we're going to just pop these down, and now we can start folding the card, and then we'll build the middle. So these pieces fold in like this, just like you're doing a gatefold card. But then the center, we're going to just fold the center pieces in like this and like this, because that becomes the platform for your card front. And then we're just going to pop those in like that. So there is your basic card shape and your platform for your card front. So let's just put that off to the side for now, and let's work on that card front. So what I've got is a piece of the boho blue. Sorry, that's the card base color is boho blue. I've got it 3 3/4 by 3 1/2. And I just want to make sure I've got that right. Yes. So we're going 3 3/4 by 3 1/2. And then I've got a piece of designer series paper, the same paper, and it is cut 3 1/2 by 3 1/4. It's just that simple reduction of 1/4 inch on each measurement to pull that in. So I'm just going to flat mount that and just add that to the front like that. And then I've got the die cut out, and it cuts the center out as well. With this one, with these beautiful little filigree kind of pieces in the corner, I recommend running it through and then running it back to really get a crisp cut. Each machine is slightly different, so you may need a shim or some wax paper, but it does cut really cleanly. And I'm just adding some adhesive just in between those spots. And this is going to go right in the middle like this. And the neat thing about this one is it's got these little grooves that you could actually feed ribbon through if you wanted to. I'm going to take the Easter greeting from the kit or from the stamp set in the boho blue, and I'm going to stamp it in the middle of the piece that came from the center of the card. I'm just going to stamp that down like that. And this is going to be dimensionalized in the middle. And this is where having a pair of tweezers really comes in handy, especially if you've got larger hands like I do. So we're just going to peel those backings off. And then I'm going to use the tweezers to place this down because I want to get it in the middle. So I'm just going to place this down like that so I know I'm in the center, just like that. There we go. Okay. And then on this one I used 2 of the strawberry die cuts. There's only 2 kind of each die cut. There's 2 pages of them, but there's only kind of 2 of each. So this one I'm going to use these really pretty flowers on, and they're going to go like this and like this. So I'm going to put dimensionals on each edge because they're going to kind of straddle the center that I've already dimensionalized. So this one will go on like this. And then this one will go on like this. And we're going to use some of those antique pearls, and I haven't colored them at all. I'm just going to use them as is, but I'm going to use the smallest of them. So we're just going to pick them up, and I popped one up here, and then 2 kind of down at the bottom here. A little bit staggered. Okay, and now the magic happens. We're going to pull our card base back in again. We're going to kind of flatten it out a little bit. And we only need to put adhesive in the middle. So we're just going to run a couple of strips of adhesive down the middle of this. And then we're going to place it down as close to the middle as we can manage. Like that. Okay, so then when we pick up our card, it sits just like that. And when you fold it up to mail it, it folds up like that to go in the envelope. And then when it opens up, we've got this beautiful, beautiful kind of gull wing. It almost, to me, it almost looks like, with this paper, an old-fashioned wardrobe for some reason. I don't know why it does that to me. But again, this was the original card from Kathy. So thank you so much for that, Kathy. This is the sample card I made. And then this is the card we made in the video. So I'm not sure which I prefer, whether I like it on the boho blue background or on the white background the best. I think I kind of like the white just because it gives it a little bit more definition, but I love the way this paper looks on the boho blue. So thank you so much for watching, and let's create together again soon.